Hi, and welcome to December's Northern BC News for Real Estate Investors. 2015 has been an amazing year for investors in the region, and I think 2016 holds some excellent things in store for anybody that's looking at getting into the market. A few very good updates this month. Number one, BC Business has come in with their new report for best cities to work in BC. They used a number of criteria, including highest average incomes, highest income growth, also percentage of people with university degrees, and a few others. And guess who came out on top? You'll guess probably Fort St. John, number one. Actually, number two this year was Dawson Creek. Dawson Creek was a few places lower last year, so Dawson Creek has now moved up to number two with nearly 30% income growth over the last 5 years. Of course, as being an excellent place to work that brings people into the area. So a few good updates on the LNG plants here this month. As a lot of people are aware, energy prices in North America are quite low, but the appetite to move forward with these LNG projects remains quite healthy, and Site C has made a number of steps forward as well, so that's what we're going to be talking about mostly today. And a big part of why I talk about LNG, a very good new report came out on the impact of LNG on BC's GDP growth. BC is expected to lead GDP growth in the entire country this year at 3.6%. Without one project, LNG project going through, that GDP growth would be 1% lower, about 2.6% GDP growth. So one of these projects, just to give you an idea of the scale, creates almost a third of BC's GDP growth for 2016, and that project was Petronas's Pacific Northwest LNG project, which I'll give a little bit of an update here shortly. But it's just incredible to see the impact that that has on the entire province, and then the epicenter of that, of course, is in Fort St. John. So very excited to see these projects start to advance. Another cool piece of news for you guys this month, we had a couple of members of our team, Dave Steele and Cynthia Asen, go to the North Vancouver Board of Trade Energy Forum on December 9th, and Rich Coleman, BC's Minister of Natural Gas, was the keynote speaker there. And they asked him in front of the entire audience, if you were a betting man, how many of the proposed LNG plants do you believe will go through? And Rich's answer was that he believed that we will see 3 major projects go through and 2 mid-sized projects go through within the next couple of years. His technical wording says he wouldn't be surprised if that number go through. So I believe that there's still very good reason for optimism even in these markets of low energy prices. So let me give you a few of the reasons that I have that I'm optimistic about it here. Here's what I've seen with the LNG Canada plant, which is a consortium of Shell, Mitsubishi, KOGAS, and a couple of other partners here. They've made some great leaps forward this month here, actually over the last few months. You may have remembered about 2 months ago I said that LNG Canada, which is led by Shell again, they leased 49 units in Kitimat for 10 years in that area. And then the next month in Terrace, they purchased a little bit of land just right by the airport there as a parking lot for people that are flying in and out of Terrace. And then this month, there was another article that came out saying that they've actually got 120 people on site right now preparing the site so that it's ready if a positive and final investment decision is made. Another big piece of news this month that I think really shows where Shell and partners' heads are at is that they've just announced that they're going to be building a new $715 million plant just a bit south of Dawson Creek. Now it is Encana and Mitsubishi that are in a partnership called the Cutbank Ridge Partnership that are going to be building this plant. And if you remember, Mitsubishi is one of the partners in LNG Canada. So it may not come as a shocker that Mitsubishi, which is a Japanese company, that they are probably doing this with some intention to use the gas in that processing plant to ship off to Asia. And this is in addition to the other plant that was announced last month also by the Cutbank Ridge Partnership, which again is Encana and Mitsubishi, right by Dawson Creek, which was over an $800 million plant, the largest built in the region in over 3 decades. So again, I remain incredibly optimistic that they're just making incredible strides towards a positive final investment decision. And I believe, along with Rich and a lot of other people that believe and are seeing these things unfold, that we're going to see some positive final investment decisions in 2016. The other LNG project that we talk a lot about is the Pacific Northwest LNG project, led by Petronas and Progress Energy. They received approvals for their pipeline here, of course, with conditions when they build it that they do it right. So that is excellent news. And the other big piece of news is that the environmental review process that the federal government is doing has resumed. The clock is ticking again for the federal environmental review process to end. So Petronas has given them all the information that they need, and barring more delays here, again, they are looking like they're on track for an early 2016 finalization of that review process. And Petronas, pending that approval, has vowed to build that LNG plant. So again, these are just monstrous projects that continue to take leaps forward. And last but not least, Site C Dam. The party's just getting started finally here. The biggest project, or the biggest contract ever awarded by BC Hydro, was just awarded last month, a $1.5 billion contract. Initially, our thoughts were that the people were going to start moving in April, kind of May, right around that time. But our latest leads and from our contacts at BC Hydro are saying that we can actually expect quite a bit sooner in 2016 to start having people move in. So very excited about that. And then BC Hydro also announced another big contract to Underhill Geomatics this month. Underhill, just a cool little excerpt I'll read from you here. The CEO said, "All of our offices will be involved. This is a big enough project that we don't know the full extent of the resources that we'll have to send down there." So this gives you an idea as to the scale of these projects. So 2015 has been a great year for the North. I think 2016 is going to be another fantastic year for anybody that's participating up there. If anybody wants to learn more, we have a number of events, including our investor tour, which is going to be on February 20th. Would love to have you come up there with us here, and we'll go from there. Hope everyone has a great new year, and look forward to talking to you again early 2016.